Jules here. Today I'd like to talk about a tarot deck that is a little bit overlooked in the tarot community, and it's quite a beautiful deck, and it was way ahead of its time when it was first published, and that is the Voyager Tarot by James Wanless, and the collage was done by Knutson. And as you can see, this tarot deck with the picture on the box does look rather ahead of its time or timeless, and that really fits in with the name Voyager Tarot. This tarot was published in 1986, so you can imagine how ahead of its time this deck was. And I still see this deck as a contemporary deck. The picture on the box of the original edition is called Time Space, and that is the Judgment card that James Wanless renamed. And I saw this tarot in about 1996, about 10 years after it was first introduced, and that's about 20 years ago. And even then, when I first saw this deck, it was really different, and I think it was probably the first collage deck that had been created. So it really was ahead of its time, and it still is. This is the first edition, and it came with a small guidebook, and the cards are larger in this deck than the current available edition. So I'm going to show you the current edition, and this one was self-published, by the way, by James Wanless himself. His own publishing house is Merrill-West Publishing, so he self-published this deck. This is the current issue, the current edition. This second edition came out in '98, so that was 12 years after the original edition in 1986. The cards are a bit smaller in this deck. I actually prefer the cards a little bit smaller. The first edition was good for looking at the cards, but it was a little bit too large. So this is the better version to handle. This has been published by Fair Winds Press, and it comes with a small guidebook. This is the guidebook, which is quite good, of course. James Wanless is quite a thorough writer. But the book I'm going to strongly recommend is the book that James Wanless wrote as the companion book to the Voyager Tarot. This was first published in 1989. It is still currently available. I think it's still published by Merrill-West Publishing, but regardless of that, it is readily available. The picture on the cover is the Universe card, which is the World card. James Wanless learnt tarot with the Thoth deck, so some of the cards have got similar names to the Thoth deck. So as you can see, that is a really beautiful Universe card. I recommend this book because he talks about all of the symbols on the cards and lots of other things besides. I think it's great for understanding the deck further. So if you can get this book, it's really worthwhile. Now I'm going to show some of the cards. The backs of the cards a beautiful tool. This is actually a photograph of the cross section of DNA. So that in itself is quite remarkable. So there's the back of the cards. I'm going to show some of my favourite Major Arcana cards. This is the Fool card, which he calls the Fool Child. The collage is very well done. It's probably the best collage art I have seen, at least on tarot decks. So the Fool Child or Fool card. Beautiful High Priestess, or the Priestess card, he calls it, Priestess. The cards have a timeless quality, so really quite beautiful. Emperor. Great Death card. I love that symbol, that wooden mask for death, and the Grim Reaper sitting here. It's a great Death card. Tower. Beautiful Kuan Yin for the Star card. Love the Moon card as well. Look at that. Beautiful Moon card. And the Sun card. Now for the Minor Arcana, the Wands, Ace of Wands. There are some small keywords at the top which are helpful, but they're not distracting. You don't have to concentrate on the keywords. Ace of Wands. Three of Wands. And the Child of Wands, which would be the equivalent of the Page. And beautiful deer here, representing the innocence of the Child of Wands. Then the Cups, Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups, Celebration, and Woman of Cups, which is the equivalent of the Queen. Now, the next two elements have been changed a little bit. For swords, he uses crystals for crystal mind. So Ace of Crystals for Ace of Swords. Two of Crystals or Two of Swords. and Woman of Crystals for Queen of Swords. Then for Pentacles, instead of Pentacles, he uses Worlds for a worldly feel. So Ace of Worlds or Ace of Pentacles for the Earth suit. Two of Worlds. Two of Pentacles. And the Sage of Worlds. The Sage is the elder of the court cards. So it goes child, woman, man, and sage. Sage of Worlds. So there are some of the cards from the Voyager Tarot by James Wanless, and I think it really is a beautiful contemporary collage deck. And I wanted to show that deck and make it a little bit more well known, because I really do think it is a great contemporary collage deck. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.